54%, that's the number. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine, one of the most respected medical journals in the world, followed over 3,000 adults for 7 years, and found that a pill sitting in your medicine cabinet right now increases your risk of dementia by 54%. Not a prescription drug from some foreign pharmacy, not an experimental treatment, an over-the-counter pill. One you can buy for $3 at any drugstore in America. Millions of seniors take it every single night. And here's what terrifies me. Most of them have no idea what it's doing to their brain. Listen to me carefully. What you're about to hear could save your memory. I'm not exaggerating. Because once I explain the mechanism behind this, once you understand how this pill erases your memories, you will never look at your medicine cabinet the same way again. Last week, a 68-year-old man named Gerald wrote to me. Retired firefighter from Michigan. Sharp as a tack his whole life. Could recite his badge number, his station, every address he ever responded to. 3 months ago, his wife found him standing in the garage, holding his car keys, with no memory of where he planned to go. Gerald had been taking this pill every night for 5 years. For allergies, a $3 pill. Today, I'm exposing 6 common medications that are silently destroying your brain after 60, and I'll tell you exactly what to take instead. Number 4 on this list, that's the one hiding in plain sight. To understand why these pills are so dangerous, I need you to picture something. Imagine your brain is a massive office building, 100 floors, thousands of workers, and every minute of every day, critical packages, your memories, your thoughts, your ability to recognize a face are being delivered between floors. The mail carriers in this building, they're called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter your brain uses for memory, learning, and attention. Without it, packages don't get delivered. Memos pile up. Entire floors go dark. Now here's what happens after 60. Your building naturally loses some mail carriers. That's normal aging. You might notice it walking into a room and forgetting why, searching for a word that's on the tip of your tongue. But you adapt. The remaining carriers work harder. The building still functions. Now imagine taking a pill that fires half your remaining mail carriers. Every night. That's what anticholinergic medications do. They block acetylcholine, they intercept the mail carriers before they can deliver, and your brain, already running on fewer carriers than it had at 40, suddenly can't move packages at all. Memories don't form, thoughts don't connect, and the damage accumulates. A team at Indiana University put people taking these drugs into brain scanners. The images were disturbing. Smaller brain volume. Enlarged ventricles, that means the spaces where brain tissue used to be, are now filled with fluid. And critically lower glucose metabolism in the hippocampus, the very region that forms new memories. Their brains looked older than their actual age. But here's the part that should alarm you most. These drugs are not rare. They're not specialty medications. They're in allergy pills, sleep aids, bladder medications, antidepressants. And nearly half of all adults over 65 are taking at least one. Let me show you the 6 worst offenders. Number 6. And this is the one that affects the most people. Diphenhydramine. You know it as Benadryl. But here's what most people don't realize. It's also the active ingredient in ZZ Quill, Tylenol PM, Advil PM, and Unisom sleep gels. That PM on the label? That's diphenhydramine. Every single time. The JAMA study I mentioned, 3,434 adults, 7-year follow-up found that people who took this drug at high doses for 3 or more years had a 54% higher risk of developing dementia. 54% from a pill you can buy without a prescription. And it's on the Beers criteria, the official list from the American Geriatric Society of Medications that seniors should avoid. The safer alternative? Loratadine or cetirizine for allergies. They don't cross the blood-brain barrier, and melatonin at low doses, 0.5 milligram to 3 milligrams for sleep. Number 5. Benzodiazepines. Xanax, Valium, Ativan, Klonopin. These are prescribed for anxiety and insomnia, and they work fast. That's the problem. They work so well that millions of seniors stay on them for years. But benzodiazepines don't just calm your nerves. They flood your brain with GABA, an inhibitory signal, and essentially put your memory system into a deep freeze. A meta-analysis in the BMJ found that long-term use is associated with roughly a 50% increase in dementia risk. And here's the critical warning. You cannot stop these pills suddenly. Withdrawal from benzodiazepines can cause seizures. It can be life-threatening. You must taper under a doctor's supervision. If you need help with anxiety, ask your doctor about cognitive behavioral therapy or buspirone. Neither one destroys your memory. Number 4, and this is the one hiding in plain sight. Oxybutynin, brand name Ditropan. It's prescribed for overactive bladder. Millions of seniors take it because they're embarrassed about incontinence, and I understand that. It's a real quality of life issue. But oxybutynin has the highest anticholinergic burden score of any commonly prescribed medication. Remember the mailroom metaphor? This drug doesn't just slow down the mail carriers. It fires the entire department. It crosses the blood-brain barrier with ease in older adults. And the brain scans from Indiana University showed that patients on oxybutynin had measurably thinner cortex, actual brain tissue loss. You're solving a bladder problem by sacrificing your memory. The alternative? Mirabegron. It works through a completely different mechanism, beta, 3 receptors, and doesn't touch acetylcholine at all. Also, pelvic floor exercises. Simple. Free. No side effects on your brain. If any of these surprised, you type stop in the comments. I need to know how many people are learning about this for the first time, because this information could change someone's life today. Number 3, amitriptyline, an old antidepressant. But doctors still prescribe it often for nerve pain, migraines, and insomnia in seniors. And it has the strongest anticholinergic activity of any antidepressant on the market. Think of it this way. Most medications block one type of lock in your brain. Amitriptyline blocks 4 simultaneously: serotonin, norepinephrine, histamine, and acetylcholine. It's turning off the lights in 4 rooms at once. A study in the BMJ, nearly 300,000 patients, confirmed that anticholinergic antidepressants like amitriptyline are specifically linked to increased dementia risk. If you're taking amitriptyline for depression, ask about SSRIs like sertraline or escitalopram. For nerve pain, gabapentin or duloxetine are safer options. Same benefits, far less damage to your memory. Number 2, and this one works differently. Omeprazole, the little purple pill, Prilosec, Nexium, Prevacid, all proton pump inhibitors. They don't block acetylcholine directly, but they do something just as destructive silent. PPIs suppress your stomach acid, and your stomach acid is essential for releasing vitamin B12 from food. Without acid, B12 can't be absorbed. Why does this matter for your brain? Because B12 is the insulation on your brain's wiring. Remember the myelin, the protective coating on nerve fibers? B12 maintains it. Without B12, that insulation cracks, signals short circuit, cognitive decline accelerates. A JAMA neurology study found that long-term PPI users had a 44% higher risk of dementia. If you've been on a PPI for more than a year, ask your doctor to check your B12 levels. Consider switching to famotidine and make lifestyle changes. Eat earlier. Don't lie down after meals. Raise the head of your bed. Number 1, the most dangerous category on this list: hydrocodone, oxycodone, Vicodin, OxyContin, Percocet. 25% of adults over 65 live with chronic pain, and opioids are still being prescribed, despite everything we know. These drugs don't just mask pain, they press the mute button on your entire cognitive system. Attention fades, memory fragments, language gets muddled. Research shows that chronic opioid use for more than 90 days significantly increases the risk of mild cognitive impairment. And if you combine opioids with benzodiazepines, the FDA issued a black box warning in 2016. The combination can be fatal. For mild to moderate pain, acetaminophen often works. Physical therapy, topical NSAIDs like diclofenac gel, capsaicin cream. These target pain without touching your brain. Now before you panic, listen carefully. I am not telling you to flush your medications down the toilet tonight. That could be dangerous, especially with benzodiazepines and opioids. Stopping those abruptly can cause seizures, withdrawal, even death. What I am telling you is this: print this list, take it to your next doctor's appointment, and ask one simple question: is there a safer alternative? Here's a quick summary of every swap. Instead of diphenhydramine for allergies, loratadine or cetirizine for sleep, melatonin, magnesium glycinate, or sleep hygiene. Instead of benzodiazepines for anxiety, cognitive behavioral therapy, or buspirone. Instead of oxybutynin for bladder, mirabegron, or pelvic floor exercises. Instead of amitriptyline for depression or pain, sertraline, escitalopram, gabapentin, or duloxetine. Instead of long-term omeprazole, famotidine, lifestyle changes, and regular B12 monitoring. Instead of opioids for pain, acetaminophen, physical therapy, topical diclofenac, capsaicin cream. Remember Gerald, the retired firefighter? His wife showed his medication list to a neurologist. The neurologist identified diphenhydramine as the likely culprit. They switched him to cetirizine and melatonin. 8 weeks later, Gerald's wife wrote to me again. He's not perfect, but the fog is lifting. He drove to the hardware store last Saturday on his own, knew exactly what he needed, came back with the right parts. That's what happens when you stop poisoning your mail carriers. Here are 5 red flags that your medication might be affecting your brain. 1, new confusion or forgetfulness that started after beginning a medication. 2, feeling unusually drowsy during the day, even after a full night's sleep. 3, difficulty finding words that you used to know instantly. 4, getting lost in familiar places, your neighborhood, your grocery store. 5, your family notices changes in your behavior that you don't see yourself. If any of these apply to you, do not ignore them, and do not assume it's just aging. Bring your complete medication list, including over-the-counter pills, to your doctor. Ask them to calculate your anticholinergic burden score. This is reversible, but only if you act. Remember, this video is for educational purposes. It is not medical advice. Never stop any medication without consulting your doctor first. But if this video opened your eyes, if you realize that something in your medicine cabinet might be hurting your brain, hit that like button. This information needs to reach more people. Subscribe and tap the bell. I release new videos every week about protecting your brain, your heart, and your independence after 60. Type stop in the comments if you're going to review your medications. I read every single one. And if you have a parent, a spouse, a friend who takes any of these pills, send them this video today. Not tomorrow, today. Coming up next, I'm revealing the 5 foods that repair brain damage after 60. The science behind them will surprise you. Take care of your brain. It's the only one you've got.